As you approach your mat, put some treats down and sit yourself back and relax. Reinforce any movement onto the mat, and where you place your treats can help your dog move further onto the mat. I put the treats onto the mat instead of to the mouth to encourage the dog to be interested in the mat. If you get a sit or a lying down, reinforce this straight away. Here you can see that every time I reinforce onto the floor, Kanita gets back out of a sit, so I need to rethink my strategy and I start to reinforce her to the mouth because I want her to maintain a sitting position and eventually for this to turn into a lying down position. Build duration on the mat by starting off with a high rate of reinforcement that is gradually slowed down. It's important to start acting interested in other things so our dogs don't focus on us too much or just expect us to constantly be focused on them. The goal is that they just actually relax on the mat rather than fixating on us. So here I'm looking at my book whilst giving Kanita treats, and in my head I'm counting in between treats and counting how long it takes until the next treat so that I can gradually build up the time in between treats. The goal is that she does not leave the mat and that eventually she starts to relax. I'm not fiddling with treats, so my hand is really still, and when she goes to try and help herself, I just remove it. I don't correct her, I don't need to say or anything like that, and then I pay her off for going back into a sitting position. In my head, I still want her to get into a down position because this is what's really relaxed, and I don't want her to be sat there fixating on me as my end behaviour. I'm giving her plenty of time to come up with a correct response, but at the same time, I don't want her to constantly practice the wrong behaviour, and I really want to think about how to get her into that down position. So I reset her, and here she's gone straight into a sitting position instead of the standing that she did when she initially started the mat behaviour. So I know I'm onto the right track. Try doing a slow feed where I hold the food down to the floor and slowly give it out, as sometimes that can help dogs go into a lying down position, but not Kanita. So I need to rethink my strategy. I need to make sure I pay her off for staying on the mat before she gets bored and goes off and does something else. You can see that in between treats we're now up to between 5 and 10 seconds, and this is the first time that Kanita has learned this behaviour, so I'm actually really impressed with her progress. She's not nagging me for the food, you can see she's thinking about what I want her to do, and I'm hoping that in between the treats that she might offer another behaviour, and that behaviour might be a lying down. But I'm not getting it, so I'm going to help her out, and I've decided to lure her. I'm trying to do that by pointing to the floor, which she has previously offered a down for. Once she's in a down, you'll see I go in with a greater magnitude of treats, so I give her far more treats than she's got for any other position, so to highlight to her what I want her to do, that this is a behaviour worth repeating. I work on my duration of a down position, and I get my book out as well to teach her that if you stay in this position, even if I'm busy, you still get paid for it. And if I see her shuffle into a position that might look more relaxed, then I'm going to pay that off too. And ideally in my head, when I think of dogs relaxing on their mats, I would like them to be relaxing on their hip rather than what I call a sphinx down, which is what Kanita's doing here. And this is a position where she could spring up at any time. Whereas if they're on their hip, they've got their legs out to the side and they're generally more relaxed. So that would be my goal behaviour, is for Kanita to be looking far more relaxed and comfortable, rather than that she's constantly training. I reset her. It's a good opportunity for her to go through the motions again, and also to see what does she offer me. And instead of reinforcing the sit, I would go straight into lowering the down again. And I want to get some more repetition of this to help her understand what I want her to do. When she settles down a bit and you see her shuffle into position, I'm also reinforcing that because she's making herself a bit more comfortable rather than just standing up. I start trying to toss the treats to her side so that she might have to turn her body to get them and roll onto her hip that way. So it's important to recognise that where we reinforce can actually set up an animal or a dog to do the next behaviour. So I reset her. And I'd like to see where she's at now. What is she going to offer me when she comes back to the mat? I wait a second in the hope that she might offer me a down. I like these little thinking moments. I think as long as you've put enough groundwork in, it's okay to pause for a second and see, has the dog learned what you want them to do without you having to lure and prompt them. If they haven't, it's important to set them up for success and to start again. So when she gets out of the down position, I just wait and see if she'll go back into it. And I can see she's thinking. Her eyes are really fixed on me, she's really alert, and she's done a few movements that show she's considering different behaviours to offer me, but she's not sure what to do. And I want to give her the opportunity to offer the right behaviour. I think she would learn far better if she came up with the idea herself rather than me constantly telling her what to do. And this is mostly how I like to train dogs. I don't like to cue them all the time. I like them to think what to do themselves. So I reset her and then I pause and see whether she will think to go into a down position on her own. And it takes quite a lot of confidence, I think, to pause and just wait. And to not feel under any pressure to push things fast. Here she says to me, I don't know the answer, so I help her out. And when she's in the down, you'll see that I go in with a greater magnitude of treats, just to make it really stand out that this is the behaviour I want you to do. I reset her again. I give her the time to think about it. She's had 3 or 4 goes of me prompting her. I can see she's thinking. I'm watching her in my peripheral, but I'm looking at where I want her to be, and there we have it. And this is actually the only time I talk to her in the session. I just give her praise, and I don't like to clutter sessions with too much vocalisation. And I feel like then when she gets it right and I'm saying, oh, you're a good girl, well done, that it stands out a lot more to her as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video.